News on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks. News Radio 1170 WWVA, Wheeling. News Radio 1170 WWVA. Severe weather Team 9 forecast.
The Buffalo area under a freezing rain is now scheduled to go until 8 o'clock Saturday morning. Cloudy and breezy. Freezing rain, maybe a little snow or sleet mixed in at times. Freezing rain goes over to rain pretty quickly. In fact, we end up around 54 degrees. I'm Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Captain Carter.
Refreshing your news feed at the top and bottom of the X and most opinions the rest of the time. I do think that we have to act. News Radio 1170 WWVA. The following is a paid program. The views and opinions in this segment are solely those of the host or organization and are not necessarily those of WWVA, its staff, or management.
It's time for Cycletalk. It's a fast hour on the radio, so we're going to pop the clutch and get started with Cycletalk this morning, being brought to you by the West Virginia Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Program. You know, motorcycle safety concerns everybody on the highway. You don't have to be a rider to enjoy our discussion here in the program. Today's topics we have on the agenda today, motorcycle safety tips. Imagine that. Making riding safety cool. That's where Joe really comes to bat. Cool rider. Motorcycle tire speed rating. Something I didn't know much about. Well, actually never really thought about it. Some of the best routes in West Virginia for you and your motorcycle. And Chuck has a bike review. Actually, something like the most expensive scooter. Can't wait to hear more about that. Mr. Ride Smart Chuck Carpenter. That's going to be fun after a while. The most expensive. It's something you and I can afford?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
When the price is an entry level, you know, Harley or a Victory, no, I don't think I would.
Well,
but,
we'll find out. Find out later in the show on the Chuck's Bike Review. Mr. Ride Straight, Joe Tyree on Cycletalk.
Hello, how are you all?
This morning.
You know, I had a rough weekend. It has been a rough weekend.
If you're in the valley, I fear for you if you rode your bike to work, because you did not get home without getting wet. And if you live west of Charleston, you had to find an alternate route for 2 days.
It was bad. It was bad. I mean, my wife got stuck in that. I mean, it was 5 hours.
And you're sitting there on a motorcycle, although you think you can go somewhere, you can't.
Yeah, and prayers go out to those involved. That was a horrific accident. And I'll tell you, thank God it doesn't happen very often.
Two tractor trailers, I understand.
Yes. Four, and a couple of passenger cars.
So, it is
Bad deal.
It's a bad deal.
You know, that's just highway safety, which is what we talk about all the time.
Well, you know, when you've got tons and tons of a vehicle going down the road.
About motorcycle safety tips, we encourage all motorcyclists to have that endorsement and make sure you understand the rules of the road. But you know, there are certain things that we can share with, like how to drive around motorcycles. You know, the bulk of our show is directed to motorcyclists, of course, but it's just as important for motorists.
Yeah, you've got to have that mindset that they're out there. You know, there's no avoiding them. They have just as much right on the road as you do. And, you know, a lot of people say that they're just a hindrance or they're a bother. You know, motorcycles buzzing in and out, you know, they're going around and once them up. But the first thing said, be educated. You know, take that course. You know, you go to the website, www.msp.org. And number one, it's a requirement. You have to have an endorsement to ride a motorcycle. But that class is going to give you some skills to stay alive out there. And it's also going to give you information that you can share with the cagers, you know, the cars, you know, the people that's driving the cars, on what to look for. You know, be aware. Give motorcycles extra space. You know, be observant of motorcycles. Look twice, like the old thing.
Exactly. Well, you know, from a motorist perspective, too, our advice is to how to drive around motorcycles. Especially, you know, I've never ridden a motorcycle. It can be confusing, some of the behavior of particular bikers, but rather than go into detail, let's just give them some good tips, Joe, like, for instance, left turns.
Look what turn around. I mean, no, I understand the motorcycles turn left. And, well, you know, the most dangerous thing for motorcycles is to turn left across a divided highway.
A lot of fatalities.
Yeah, a lot of fatalities because people look past us,
Exactly.
and we're standing in the turn lane, we think you've got it, or we've got one car stopped and the other one in the right lane just keeps going and you're turning, and there you are. So yeah, look, especially at the intersection.
Yeah, the visibility is definitely a factor, and I heard the accident reports, and I know you saw the response from the driver of the vehicle that hit the motorcycle. I did not see it. I didn't see that motorcycle. It came out of nowhere.
Right.
So it's there. You just gotta be observant and know your surroundings.
Well, here's another
We
tip.
don't appear magically out of
Well,
We didn't get Star Trek teleported there.
another tip for motors to keep in mind is simply to let the motorcycle swerve. That's, sometimes you think it's an erratic driver, perhaps, but, give them room to let them swerve. Sometimes they're dodging bumps.
Potholes.
Potholes, yeah, exactly. So, give them room.
Raccoons and possums and everything. See, that's what the driver of the vehicle doesn't understand. It's the actions of the motorcycle are going to be 500 times sooner and quicker than a car. You see something in a car, you've got a little bit of time to avoid it. It comes up on a motorcycle so fast. That's why we always teach, the motorcyclists to look ahead, look forward. Don't have that field of vision just right past your front wheel of the motorcycle. Look forward, be ready to take action. That's something with automobiles. Be ready, be observant.
But Joe has a kind of an abbreviated term for that. What's that bobble thing you talk about all the time?
your head on the swivel, and always be looking forward to the horizon on the motorcycle.
Exactly.
Because you search from the horizon back, and you see everything. The other thing about, we're not always swerving in a lane, but we're just using the whole lane to let you know that we're there. We have that space. That space is ours.
Like a vehicle.
And we're gonna ride in the middle. We're gonna ride on the left. We're gonna ride on the right, depending on where we are. We won't ride that far in the middle all the time because there's usually a hump there. But there's
a crown there, and also, a lot of motorcyclists don't want to get in that groove. A lot of that groove, especially when there's the little roadway surfaces wet, things oils are building up. So we're trying to avoid the hydroplaning and the debris in the roadway.
Interesting suggestions to motorists. And I like what you said, Chuck. Look, and look again. Motorcyclists are everywhere.
But I will add, there's a couple, sometimes motorcyclists themselves really give us a bad name. So they're going to be cognizant of you have to obey the law, and you can't be crazy out on a motorcycle, and you have to share the road with cars. So, it goes both ways.
Well, I like it. I'll use this. Stay back. Stay back.
Yeah.
Give me distance, all right?
Exactly. That's all you need.
Last thing I want to do is look at my mirror, and you're 10 feet, you're 10 feet off my tail. So that means that you sure enough can react to the things I've got to react to.
Go around me if you have to.
Go around. Go on around, all right? Stay back, give me my distance, and I'll give you yours, all right?
Well, I think the key is training and education, both. And I think there should be more questions on the learner's tests, about motorcycles, and maybe that's something to be incorporated, in years to come or whatever. But there's really, I look at that test every now and again when I was working at the DMV, and they don't have any questions about motorcycles on there.
I think they're sort through the whole thing. Left turns for motorcycles, stay back, keep your distance, all right? Understand that we're going to look like we may be weaving, but we're just taking our space in the lanes in front of you. Look twice, save a life, and they're all. And let us swerve, because we're going to do it. We're swerving to get out of the way. And if you're back far enough, right, you'll see what we're swerving for,
It might just save you from tearing your tire up on a puddle.
If we miss it, you sure enough want to miss it.
Exactly.
Right?
Good advice. Well, guys, one of our listeners, big fans from out in Poco, John Joseph, sent an email, and he's got some information from a website called Ask a Pro, and the author of this article, his name is Lee Parks, but he's writing for Ask a Pro, and the headline is Making Riding Safety Cool. And interesting take on his perspective, and he's talking mostly in the article about fatalities, but I didn't realize fatalities had doubled in the past 10 years. And I guess you could debate that, more bikes on the road, maybe?
Well, I'm proud to say I just got some numbers today. West Virginia is 6 behind where we were this time last year.
or call our toll-free public information line, 1-800-543-1495.
We're 6 miles where we were last year. So
we're speaking with retired Marine
goes out to these
Lieutenant General
bikers
Keith
that are
Osmond, who's
being
also
safe,
the
getting
president and
educated, taking the
CEO of
class,
the Marine Toys
and
for Tots
keeping these
Foundation.
numbers down.
Since we're keeping records, it looks like it has increased
Especially if money is
about
tight.
2,000 motorcycles going back to like 1998 up to 2014. But there was 2,000, looks like 9 maybe, and then it started back down. Where we are now, nationally, about 4,000 fatalities.
Well, I think if you remember, the economy was really, really bad in 2009. I think when the economy's down and public coffers are empty, education is a victim of that, and motorcycle and driver education. So that's one reason. And a lot of the states during that time were repealing helmet laws. You know, a lot of them, seen the results, and they put the laws back in place, but a lot of cause and effect there.
Well, also, leading up to that, there was a big gas that jumped up almost $4 a gallon, which caused a lot of people to ride motorcycles. And, like you said, the economy is down. Remember, the farmers want to go back to those economies.
Trying to make ends meet. Oftentimes we find that a lot of these unfortunate children are in families where a parent might not have a full-time job. So each of the parents
riding and staying aware, and this has put out a lot of figures. Sometimes these figures, I'll say, are true because they show we have no control of. Sometimes you'll find an ATV. Sometimes you'll find off-road motorcycles incorporated in their column. And, we're basically talking about roadworthy bikes and not off-road bikes. So those things can do it, but it starts, and we can't preach it enough. Safety starts with you between your ears, taking the test before you ever get on anybody's bike, including your own. Now, have the mindset. Get the mindset. You understand that it may look cool for your neighbor, but he may have been riding 40 years, and it's not cool for you. Well, that's one of the jobs of the state here for the motorcycle safety program. Education, and we see all these built, and we've been doing that for years and years and years, and it's hard to measure that, and we're trying to work with it, because one of the worst things is coming back. It is not just a gimmick. No, you want to work for it. You want to earn it, and you have to demonstrate your skills. You have to demonstrate your skills at the end. I think at one time they were pushing away about doing away with the skills testing part of it. I, for one, believe, hey, how can you measure somebody's skill if you don't test them that kind of way? And that is
to streamline